Hey, welcome to another episode of the Fit for Purpose podcast. My name is Brandon. This is my co-host, Jacob.
Yeah, in this episode, we dive into all things biohacking, specifically hormone replacement therapy and peptides, two things that are really hot topics right now. So we dive in, share our opinions, and give some caveat as to maybe what you guys should be looking out for in those spaces.
Yeah, and before you move ahead into this episode, we got some business. There are subscribers and non-subscribers. If you're not subscribing to our YouTube channel, be sure to go and do that before you check out what's next. But let's dive in.
Let's do it.
When it comes to hormone replacement therapy, it almost in a sense is a lifetime commitment.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the key factors that people don't really assess.
There are a few peptides that have been well studied.
Yeah.
But there are hundreds that are just like hitting the market. All right, man. It's 4 a.m. We're out here.
I almost broke that glass.
That would have been tragic.
I literally today broke glass. It's never a good thing.
Yeah, it's never like...
I mean, we got like a dog in the house, kids in the house. It's like you're like vacuuming everything just to make sure it's all cleaned up.
You're like all paranoid.
Dude, we pickled some onions. My wife had this in this like nice little glass jar. And I'm like unsealing it and it was like kind of wet and I'm just like in a hurry, not paying attention. And I freaking like basically like threw the lid onto the counter and it's just like douche.
Oh my God. It always happens at the least convenient time.
Totally.
It's because you're in a hurry.
It's because I was in a hurry.
Yeah. I sliced my hand over the weekend. Like same thing. Like I was trying to take the plastic wrapping off of like a glass jar.
Okay.
And I'm using a knife. I'm like holding a jar and a knife and I'm like trying to like
two objects that should not collide.
Yeah. And I'm just like in a hurry, like trying to open this jar and just slice my thumb. Like,
oh shoot.
I'm supposed to be like leaving the house. I'm just like bleeding and trying not to pass
Was it
out.
pretty deep?
It was pretty deep. I don't do well with that. I like had to like sit down and like take a second.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you get like woozy with blood?
Well, mostly like, yeah, I do. I get woozy. Mostly my own.
Like if it's someone else's,
it's not as bad if it's someone else's, but like cut my own hand. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, oh, that's pretty deep. And like, I'm not like sitting there thinking like, oh, this is so gross. I can't look at this. But I'm like, next thing I know, I just start getting like hot and sweaty. And I'm like,
oh no.
Gotta take a seat.
Bro, there was an instant last week. My wife and I were with the kids at the park in our neighborhood. And there was this little kid playing with his friend. And we later found out he lived like right there. So he's climbing up this slide and it's got these it's like a weird ladder. Like they're just like objects kind of sticking out, right? Mm-hmm. It's not like a traditional. So he gets to like the third rung and he just like slips and straight up hits the side of his head on like a piece of metal. And we're like, oh shoot, that is not good. And I think he was like kind of embarrassed. So he like went and like ran, like hid behind the slide and his friend is like standing there like checking on him. Heather is a nurse, so like we're kind of jumping in like, is he okay? Like, is everything good? And the friend, because we couldn't see him yet, he's like still behind the slide. His friend turns at us. He's like, no, like there's a lot of blood. Oh, bro. So we finally like, get him up over to us and he like totally gashed his face open. Like the whole side of his face, deep, immediate, just like blood pooling down his face. He's hysterical. He's like a little kid. Like he's not much older than my son. And so we're like, oh my gosh, like we got to get this kid's parents. Like, and dude, it was like 6:30 and he's like there without his parents. Like I thought that was kind of crazy, but so he lived like right next to the park. So I was like, well, I'm going to go get your dad. Like, he's like, no. Like, I think he thought he was going to get in trouble.
Like, no, dude, like, we got to get your dad.
Bro, this thing needs stitches stat. Like you are not,
don't tell my
you're
dad.
Not good. So I like go run to his house. I'm like knocking on his door. His parents answer. I'm like, hey, is this your son's name? Like he's at the park, like definitely cut his head open pretty bad. Like just wanted to come grab you guys. Cause like this needs some like immediate attention. Yeah. And his dad just like casually walking over to him. Like, dude, it was like they were unfazed.
Really?
Yeah. I would imagine later they took him to like get some treatment, but dude, immediate goose egg, like gashed open face. And like the face bleeds a lot.
Yeah.
Like
a lot of blood flow.
Anyway.
You think he needed stitches?
I think so. I did that as in college playing intramural sports and got hit in the face pretty good. and I think I ended up getting like 14 stitches like in my eyebrow. Like the face bleeds a lot. It's pretty crazy.
I've only ever had stitches once.
Really?
Blessed.
Better knock on some damn wood. Let the Lord cover you and just kidding.
Yeah, knocking on that did it.
Yeah,
that's the protection right
that
there.
is that's how that works. Yeah,
that's the Lord's
what
prayer.
is that? Where did that even originate, dude? It's
I don't know.
But
Weird superstition.
well, I'm glad your thumb's okay. For the sake of us being here.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
I was actually like supposed to be leaving the house to go play a soccer game, like a rec soccer game. And it was just bleeding. I just like wrapped it up and like put my gloves on. I was playing keeper.
Oh yeah.
So, and then I took off the glove later, like 2 hours later, and it was just all freaking
Was it nasty?
bloody and nasty. Yeah, but turned out okay. I didn't need stitches or anything.
Oh, good.
It was being dramatic.
Yeah. Just kidding. Well, we're jumping in, dude.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's freaking do it.
So talking all things biohacking. What a crazy term.
Yeah, I mean, it is an interesting term.
I mean, I don't know, like, again, like the knocking on wood thing, I don't know where it's quite
Originates from.
originates from, but I feel like it has like kind of a large umbrella. And like we've seen it very popularized on social media. Coaches, influencers, nurse practitioners, your freaking neighbor, like dealing with peptides and hormone therapy and TRT, everything under the sun. So
Yeah.
as coaches, we've had our own experiences with this stuff.
Yeah,
So-
our own experiences and experiences working with
Yeah.
a bunch of clients who have had experiences with these things as well. Yeah, I think the intention too is just to kind of like clear up any misconceptions and, obviously give our opinions on, what a suitable path forward might be for most people, and just encourage people to like seek genuine guidance or expertise, because like you were saying, everyone, I think this is a, with the term biohacking or anything like peptides or hormone replacement therapy, those things get a lot of attention on social media. And in this space, this is an issue, but I think in just in general in our current landscape, it's an issue that we take like digesting small, quick bits of information for like actually knowing
Yes.
what's going on.
Well said.
You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
and I do the same thing, but I talk to so many people that they've like watched, 8 to 10 to 12 Instagram reels that are like 30 seconds long on a subject. And all of a sudden they're like, they are the expert.
Yes.
Like, they're like, you can't tell them anything. Like, they know what's going on. And it's like, we're confusing this like shallow exposure to a lot of information quickly that may or may not even be true contextually. Like, we're always missing so much context.
Yeah.
We've mistaken that for like an expert level education and knowledge and knowing and understanding
Yes.
around a topic.
Yeah. And I think it's super important that, even without diving into this stuff, that is such an important thing to preface, because like if you're going to speak about something confidently, like you should have a baseline understanding of what you're speaking about. And I will even preface with this conversation, it's like we're coming at this from a coach's perspective. Like, we're not doctors. A lot of this, some of it, as far as like the breakdown of these, molecules and things like that, is even out of our scope. But just coming at it from the perspective of on a daily basis, whether it's on our Instagram feed or whether it's clients literally walking in the door using some of this stuff, I think it's important to help pass this information along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not to say that we're experts in this subject specifically, but, and not even to say that like you shouldn't speak on something. Like if you have an opinion and you want to share that, then like I'm all for it. But we also just shouldn't confuse like quick, shallow information for a knowing or a deep understanding.
Yeah.
And I think that that's kind of a lost art, and I'm speaking to myself as well, but it's like a lost art of truly taking the time to understand something. I can speak confidently on physical training, fitness, biomechanics, things like that, because that's what I've spent the last
dedicated your life.
Yeah,
to
that's
it.
what I spent the last 10 to 12 years like studying and focusing on every single day. So I feel really confident in those aspects. As far as the biology and physiology stuff of like peptides or hormone therapy, you know, I definitely feel confident that I know more than the average person. But again, I'm not a naturopath. I haven't spent years studying these things. So,
and I think it's like, we almost have to dive to a deeper understanding level of this stuff so that we can then pass that information along.
To
clients.
It's
almost like we have to kind of get ahead of the curve to be like, yes, I know you've heard about this. As your coach, here's how I'm going to help.
Yeah. And I know we do that with all sorts of subjects when it comes to clients because we're trying to assimilate information and then present it to clients of like, okay, you know, in context of everything else that's going on in your life as my client, like these are the things that you need to look out for. You know, I'm not going to like make a prescription of like, you need to do this or you should do this.
Absolutely.
But we're, as coaches, as trainers, we're taking so many things into context when we're working with somebody, you know, their lifestyle, their diet, their like previous history, injuries, all sorts of things, their goals. And again, like you just said, we're trying to get ahead of the curve a little bit with some of these things that are coming out and some of the newer stuff so we can have conversations, have educated conversations with our clients. So I just wanted to preface, you know, some of this conversation with that.
Totally. I mean, I was literally just a couple of weeks ago, like in a setting with quite a few individuals, and I'm just kind of standing there like as a, you know, fly on the wall, like listening to conversation being had around this stuff. Oh, you know, like throwing out names of all the different GLP-1s and all the growth hormone peptides and all this stuff. And, you know, I'm sitting there like probably thinking like I'm the most educated person on this stuff in this space, but I'm not going to like step on toes here, but I'm just like listening, you know, kind of to your point of like everybody being an expert in the room because they watched a handful of videos and, or even conversations. Cause I think that's what happens is it's like someone I know had this experience. Now they're coming to me saying like, I need to get on this thing. You know, that happens with diets, that happens with workout programs, going to a group class, that happens with anything in life, really, truly. Like, you know, if someone's close to you who you trust has had an experience, now you're going to take that at its absolute.
Yeah.
So,
as at face value. Yeah. Yeah. Conversations with, again, and like so much of this gets, like you just said, passed on through, you know, you watch a 30-second Instagram reel and like, you may or may not be exposed to something factual, but it's often lacking context, right? Or you talk to someone who had an experience or thinks that they're an expert and they're telling you like, no, this is exactly the way that it is. Like, oh, you have to get on semaglutide because you're going to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Yeah. Or you definitely should not do that because it's going to like cause all these problems.
Totally.
And so people, it's like, we have these, you know, we have people with very, very strong beliefs, but a lack of actual knowing. That makes sense? Like it's different. It's like you can have a belief that you're holding on to that's not, it may or may not be true, but you are like identifying with that belief. Like you think it is the truth, but it may or may not be true. Yeah. And knowing comes with like time, experience, exposure, like truly starting to understand some of these things. So
I think maybe the first spot, I guess, that I feel, you know, kind of along the lines of what you're saying that I maybe have become an expert in, at least at a coach level, is some of the hormone replacement therapy stuff. Like that's something I have done for the last like 3.5 years of my life, the TRT stuff. And, you know, especially amongst men, really theoretically, that's become a massive thing because, you know, anybody who's over the age of, let's say 35 and is looking to get more in shape, they've heard, you know, through the grapevine, like their buddies are on, you know, hormone replacement therapy. They've gotten jacked, they've lost body fat, they've done all these things, so they have to do it. And it's actually very accessible too. Like this is stuff that can be like provided over the counter through a prescription, and it's pretty easily accessible. So you could go to any like hormone clinic and like grab this stuff. So like that's something I would love to like kind of dive into just to help preface with people, because kind of to your point, it's like we have to go and assess this based on our specific circumstance.
Yes.
This cannot be something that you're just on a whim going and doing this because you want to lose 10 pounds and gain 10 pounds of muscle. And honestly, it doesn't just automatically work like that too. So that's something that needs to be known. But for me personally, why I chose to go that route, like I had a personal experience where through, some illness and then having to take some medication to prevent that illness, like my hormones got wiped out. Mm-hmm. And there was some, we were at a spot in our lives where like we had kids and, it wasn't a thought for me to be like, okay, I need to preserve this function XYZ. I was just like, I feel like crap. I'm falling asleep at the wheel coming home from work and it's like 4 p.m. Oof. Like I'm eating right. I'm exercising 5 times a week. I'm trying to get good sleep. And like my body looks like this, like what the hell? You know what I mean? Like it could be better. And so I started diving a little bit deeper, but it's important to note, like I sought out like a trusted professional to like actually work with and get like appropriate lab work done.
You weren't just ordering it online.
Not just ordering it online. And then even from there, it's like, she's presenting the options of, hey, this is maybe a route you could choose. This is a route you could choose that would best fit your circumstance versus like finding the first person that's just going to give you your 200 milligram dose of test and run away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's just super important in that you're weighing your options. And when it comes to hormone replacement therapy, it almost in a sense is a lifetime commitment. Like,
yes.
And I think that's one of the key factors that people don't really assess, like when they're, seeking that out as an option. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of different options that if you maybe exercise a little bit more, maybe you supplemented with a certain remedy of vitamins and minerals, changed your diet a certain way, focused on improving your sleep, like you could naturally improve that. So I can keep going, but I don't know if you have anything to add to that.
No, I mean, I think, there's a lot to jump in with here. Yeah. I think specifically when we're talking about hormone replacement therapy, and again, we're looking at this kind of from the perspective of like biohacking in general, right? And what we're doing, quote unquote, with biohacking is we're basically trying to, and that's the thing, I don't like the term biohacking because it sounds like you're trying to like hack your system.
Yeah.
I think the term is a little bit like dirty, like it has like some weird perspective on it.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. Trying to basically use advances in technology and medicine to improve the state of your physical being, and doing that through an understanding of like, if for example, I use like a red light panel, right? And I use that in the morning because I know I'm not sitting outside watching the sunrise every morning and watching the sunset every afternoon. Mm-hmm. So I'm not getting like a natural level of red light exposure that I would have, hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
Or maybe the type of red light exposure that our biology and physiology evolved under or was designed to experience for optimal health. Yeah. Right. So,
but now you can have this piece of technology that can intervene.
Yeah. And it can help replicate that. Exactly. It can help me get more exposure to red light that I'm not getting. So I can wake up in the morning and I can, sip on some hot water while I sit in front of the red light and do some stretching instead of like having to go outside and make sure that I'm watching the sunrise to get that red light exposure. Yeah. Right. So that would be like, quote unquote, a biohack.
Yeah.
Even though it's really just like taking some advancement in technology and understanding of what our bodies need. Yeah. And, using that to just help me be a little bit healthier. Mm-hmm. So same thing with hormone replacement therapy, right? Through all sorts of instances, like for your example, you got really sick, and through overcoming that illness, the medication that you took like caused some damage to your body so that your body was unable to produce your hormones in the way that it did before. So like in that case specifically, I think that something like testosterone replacement therapy or hormone replacement therapy has been like really beneficial for your quality of life.
Absolutely. And I don't want to take away from those benefits. Like you talk about, it's like hormone optimization. Like I'm doing these habits X, Y, and Z really well already, and this is still like the kind of shit experience that I'm having. That's where this stuff can like truly intervene to help you kind of unlock that new, oh, I can get my testosterone to a normal level that a 30-year-old man should have. Like now I'm going to get the results that I need. So sometimes it can be that extra layer to unlock the door that you need to get through.
Yeah. And some people have like very specific issues. Like, I mean, like for example, say someone had like testicular cancer and like, okay, they might need to be on TRT so they can have healthy levels of testosterone throughout the rest of their life, you know, where I think that we go wrong is that we just use it like a Band-Aid. And that's like the biggest difference I think with all of these quote unquote biohacks in general is like, if you're just trying to hack the system as like a cheat or a Band-Aid for some other thing that you're not bringing awareness to, or some other thing that you're not doing or participating in your life to manage yourself well, then it may work in the short term, but there's always going to be a trade-off long term.
Yes.
Like there's no, like I truly believe that there's not like a biological free lunch in that you can just like bypass some of these biological systems that your body is intelligent and very complex in handling, like our hormones. And
you have to be willing to make those assessments of the pros and cons list. Is it worth the cons that will come with this? Because I'm going to be honest, like my testosterone's through the roof and I'm getting great results and I'm feeling strong and energized and all those really amazing benefits. But this is something like I said, I've now committed my life to. I have to always be mindful of, finding a provider that I trust, that I'm paying to review my blood work regularly. I'm having to look at different factors, like what is my estradiol doing? What is my DHEA doing? Like all these different levels within my blood work, because there has been moments where my estradiol has dipped and I've felt like shit. My training's been awful. I've gotten hurt, like things like that. So it's a constant awareness of those things. It's a constant funding of money towards those things. I'm having to bill my insurance to pay for my testosterone supplements. So like I've now committed to that decision.
Yes.
For me, it was making the assessment that it was worth it to have that cons list because of the benefits. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, when we start playing with these things, let's take testosterone, for example, because it is such a popular one, right? For, any guy over 35, it's like, you should just get on testosterone.
Yeah.
Like, just do it. Like your life will be better. But anytime you start like pulling on these strings, we don't have a full and complete understanding of the complexity of the human body yet. Like our understanding has advanced tremendously in the last 30, 40 years, but we still don't have a full, complete picture of what's going on. So you start pulling on one string and then you realize you're creating tension in the system somewhere else.
Yeah.
You can never...
And it's always that.
Yeah.
It's always a constant adjustment.
Yeah, it's a back and forth, right? So like say you're
never going to just like pull the right string and then forever you can just coast.
Yeah.
It's always that, okay, and you may get to the spot where the blood draws that you're doing are a little bit further apart because you felt better or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah, so say you get on testosterone replacement therapy. Okay, you bring your testosterone levels up to a healthy level, or even maybe like a slightly super physiological level. Like maybe you're a 45-year-old male, but your testosterone now is hanging out around 1,000.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's on the high end for, someone who's like a guy who's in their 20s who's really healthy.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have to do blood donations every like 3 months because your red blood cell count's like shooting up.
Yeah, and that's something that like absolutely will happen. Your hematocrit will increase. Certain providers will have a different preference on whether you should do that or not. But that is another tier, another layer to what you have to think about.
Maybe now you're needing to do blood donations.
Yeah.
And I'm actually like thinking of someone specific that I had a client that had this experience of like trying to figure out, okay, once they started, after a few months, they needed to start doing some blood donations. And after a while of doing consistent blood donations, now their iron stores are too low. So now they're like trying to be mindful of like, okay, do I need to get on an iron supplement, or how do I need to start making sure that I'm eating enough red meat?
Pull the string.
Yeah. So exactly. You're just pulling the strings, right? So there's a constant like, okay, adjustment of like, okay, now that I've messed with the system, I have to constantly be monitoring it and starting to adjust and pull the strings.
Yeah.
And we'll get better and better at that. And the understanding will continue to grow, but it's just an example of like, you can't just introduce a new implement.
Yeah, you can't whimsically jump into something just without. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's always going to be, and consequences, like I'm not using the term consequence as something negative, but every action that you take has a consequence, has a reaction. So I just have to be prepared for any time we start messing with these things, understanding that there are things that are going to follow along with that we're going to have to be aware of.
Yeah. And I think this is something that maybe needs to be said just to provide some base level understanding for those that are seeking this, is like when you look at testosterone, you can't just look at the total. Like when you're on TRT, it is way more valuable to appreciate what's called the free levels, because the free levels are what are actually being utilized for the things that the male human body needs. So it's like you could have a super high total testosterone, but you may be having this conversion of like sex binding hormone globulin happening where it's actually just turning into estrogen. And then that's where you get some of that gyno, you get like hyper emotional, you can be prone to like inflammation and injuries and things like that. Like that's not good either.
Yeah.
Or you get in a situation where you go to maybe just a standard testosterone clinic, and a lot of these folks will just give you the baseline like prescription like they do to everybody. And something that like happened to me is they'll give you what's called an AI, which is an aromatase inhibitor. So the assumption is, well, I'm going to give you testosterone, and I don't want that testosterone to inhibit your estrogen to increase. So I'm going to give you an AI, which is going to block your estrogen. What we don't recognize is that actually men need a certain level of estrogen, because that helps with how your joints feel. That helps with recovery. That helps regulate your thyroid function. That helps with your sleep, like all of these different factors. So you're talking about like the layers that you have to kind of get into with using this stuff. So it's making sure that you have a quality free total. It's making sure that your estrogen's where it needs to be. It's making sure that your DHEA is appropriate, because that's what regulates the two. So not to just confuse the listener, but just like, these are all of the things that you have to factor, and you have to find a provider that understands how to look at the whole picture.
Yes.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And that's like a small little peek into the human body as a whole, of like all of these things work in unison and work in a symphony, that your nervous system is automatically adjusting and modulating, right? So our bodies are so intelligent and complex that it's monitoring and adjusting all of the levels of these hormones in real time based on your levels of stress, the nutrition that's coming in, how much rest you're getting, how much exercise you're getting. So like your body is constantly monitoring all the information that's coming in and responding perfectly appropriately through its understanding and through its intelligent, whether it's evolved to act perfectly in unison with its environment, or it's been designed to act perfectly with its environment, but your body is constantly monitoring all the information that's coming in and making all these adjustments in real time. Yeah. Like billions of chemical reactions every second.
Yes.
It's so wild, like to really think about.
Yeah.
Like your body is made of 1 trillion cells, each of those cells made of 1 trillion atoms. And all of those are floating and dancing in unison to create this experience that is you.
And which is why I think sometimes the natural route may be the better option, because it's way easier to take like a multitude of vitamins to maybe improve your sleep, and then, start implementing some exercise, maybe a little bit higher protein diet.
Mm-hmm.
And then you may see that number jump by like 200.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
And when if you're referring to testosterone specifically.
So
I agree.
You have to weigh your options. The other thing I was going to say specific to testosterone is, which we'll say about all the stuff we're going to talk about today, is like, you have to actually, with testosterone, you as a male, you actually have to like work out and like send a signal to the muscle that testosterone is needed.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, really the only benefit you're going to get from injecting yourself every week is like a subtle increase in libido. Like, if you're just sitting on the couch and then once a week you're poking yourself in the butt with your test, I'm sorry, but it is not going to just magically work for you. And in fact, it actually may work worse for you because now you're increasing your estradiol and you're just...
Yeah, I would argue I would argue that it may actually be like aging you
1,000%
faster,
because the whole premise is that you have to light up your androgen receptors to utilize that free T.
Yeah, otherwise it's just circulating in your body.
Circulating your body, like I said, it's jacking up your estrogen. It's storing carbohydrates as body fat.
Yeah,
it's not doing a good job of like moving that around to be used as energy. So you actually might be worse off if you're just someone who's like not doing the work that's necessary and just looking for the like quick fix.
Yeah. I also think, and again, I'm kind of a purist, and I do believe that there are situations in which hormone replacement therapy can be beneficial. And I probably, when I'm like in my 60s, I'll probably, when I start like naturally declining, I'll probably start jumping on some testosterone.
Like RFK,
I'm like, I would rather be like 80 and jacked than like 80 and falling apart.
Yeah.
But to get on it for like no real reason when you're like 40 years old, other than like you just are not taking care of yourself well, I think is very short-sighted.
Yeah.
And I think that you may actually be doing yourself a disservice because say you are someone who is not eating well, not sleeping well, overstressed, not being intentional with taking care of yourself in general, and then you get on some testosterone because it's going to give you some more energy and it's going to make you feel better. You're just allowing yourself to continue burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like drinking an energy drink.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of, it has that effect. Like you're like a teenager, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you look at what teenagers do. They do that. They burn the candle at both ends. They can stay up super late playing video games, hanging with their buddies, staying out late. They wake up early for school, but they have the ability to recover from it. But at some point, I mean, if you're a 40-year-old dude, that's very different. I don't care what your testosterone levels are at. And I've experienced this very thing where I can train hard. And then it's like, boom, sinus infection or boom, like my muscles outperform my soft tissue. And now I've got like, my knees angry, like those kind of things. Absolutely.
It's like, okay, you feel better. You feel like you have more energy, but it's like, it's not real. Like your body, your body, the reason that your testosterone is low in the first place is because your body doesn't want you to be crushing the gym, so it's like your body is intelligent. So your body's like, okay, you slept 4 hours last night. You're drinking 2 to 3 alcoholic beverages every single day. You're stressed. So we're going to drop your testosterone to 300 because we don't want you feeling like you can just freaking get up and take on the world right now because you can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to artificially jack up your testosterone levels so that you feel like you can take on the world, even though your body's not in a state or a position to actually do that, then you're just like...
Yeah, there has to be a smart approach.
Yeah, it's like it's like chugging the 400 milligram caffeine energy drink in the morning and then crushing a workout because you feel like you can, even though physiologically your body is not actually ready for that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And there's been seasons in my life where my strength, my muscle in the gym, my endurance, all that stuff has far outperformed some other factors. Yeah. And it's not awesome when that happens.
Yeah. Like it's kind of cool, but
I mean, I will say this, before we move on into some of the peptide conversation, like it has significantly changed my life. Before I was taking this, I was like skinny fat, 170 pounds, soaking wet, like, not moving like impressive weight. Certainly, and I wasn't training full time at that point, but like didn't look the part as someone who was like exercising regularly. And it's given me a whole newfound confidence. I'm freaking 25 pounds heavier, 30 pounds heavier now, like leaner, stronger. So in that sense, it's completely changed my life, and I am glad I made the decision. But for those seeking it, and for myself, it will be a forever thing that I'm having to like be sure that I'm taking care of, like looking after.
Yeah. So, I hear you. And I think that's awesome. And I think that we have these tools is so powerful and can help so many people. I just want to encourage people to truly seek the relationship with themselves before just like outsourcing their power.
Don't outsource the power. Don't seek the instant gratification.
Exactly. It's the instant gratification. It's like, okay, if your testosterone levels are at 300 and you feel like shit, like, okay, like take a step back, be very honest with yourself and analyze, okay, what could I do that would actually be taking care of myself more effectively? Do that consistently for a while, and I'm sure you're going to start feeling better.
Yeah. I mean, I have a client who, he's at a spot where he's had all his kids. He's like early 40s. He's, got some weight that he needs to lose. He very well could be a candidate for testosterone, and he's just choosing not to. And over the last 6 months, like his testosterone's jumped 200 points.
Incredible.
Because he's changed his nutrition. He's getting better sleep. He's coming to the gym to train with me 3 to 4 days a week. Like, and it's been awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and he feels great. So
that's incredible.
So again, it doesn't need to be the decision that you make.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think this is where like some of the peptides really come into play, because, you talk about instant gratification. I think whether it's the GLP-1s or the GF1s, I believe that's what they are, right? Like the growth hormone, growth factor. People look at this stuff, or whether it's like a quick Instagram post going back to our previous conversation, or what a friend said, and they're like, oh, they had this amazing transformation. They're chasing the instant gratification, but without laying the foundation of work, that stuff's actually not going to really help you. And the peptide stuff, more than anything, aside from some of the, if we're talking about people who are in like a pre-diabetic or diabetic range, who are needing to lose a significant amount of weight and make some very real changes, and they're using some of those stronger versions of these drugs, you're really going to get like minimal benefits. Like if anything, it's going to be the thing where I think it's helpful that it creates maybe the snowball effect of momentum for some folks.
Yeah.
Which, if you feel like you need that, freaking go do it. But have a better understanding of what you're pursuing, what you're taking, where you're sourcing it, like all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, peptides are another one, and it's like a really, really hot topic right now.
Really hot topic.
But I think the root of it, unfortunately, is this desire for instant gratification. Now, I don't think that they're bad. I think they're obviously, some have been shown to be really powerful.
Yeah. And again, it's like an amazing tool.
Yeah. And so exactly.
For some people, it's almost like, yeah, why the fuck wouldn't I use these?
Yes.
Like, if this is going to help my situation, like, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think, and I've experimented with peptides, and I have the goal of, this is what I keep in the back of my mind, is like, that actually very, very specific goal I'll share is like, doing a standing backflip. So just like standing on flat ground and doing a backflip.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been able to do that for like the last 12 years, 13 years of my life. And
what a flex.
It is a flex. And I love having that skill in my back pocket,
awesome.
right? It's very cool. But I want to be able to do that when I'm like 65.
Yeah.
Like just bust out a standing backflip. Like
good.
How cool would that be?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So, and that's a very specific goal, but it's also like a general, for me, it's like a general kind of target of like, okay, what does that mean? It means I have really healthy and resilient joints. It means I'm strong and explosive still. It means I'm light enough to be able to jump and move. And I'm still like mentally like flexible enough to not be afraid of that skill. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I still have like the mental like youthfulness to like want to play and do those types of things.
Yeah, which I think comes with your desire to pursue the athleticism, the strength, the power. It's going to give you that confidence to have that bounce and just go after it. Like you're not going to like damage yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And if I continue to just be able to do that, if I don't lose the skill, then there's no reason I can't do that.
Yep.
Right. And how this relates to peptides, for example, is like, if I know there's something out there that I can take that's going to benefit me in getting more deep and restful sleep, or benefit me in being able to heal and recover from injury, or heal and recover soft tissue from lifting weights. And I can do that over time, and I'm confident that it's going to help me and not set me back or cause side effects, then why would I not use that tool? Right?
Yep.
I think where this gets muddied is that there are a few peptides that have been well studied, but there are hundreds that are just like hitting the market. Yeah. And there's like all these claims about what it can do.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to like sift through all the bullshit.
Well, and you know, it's about where you're sourcing it too.
Oh yeah.
Because like you could hop online and buy it from some research clinic and you don't know what's even in that.
Yeah.
Like literally you do not know what percentage of that vial is actually the thing that you're chasing.
Could be nothing. It could be 0%.
You have no idea. And when they sell it to you, they can't tell you. Yeah. Because they're not supposed to. They're not legally allowed through the FDA to be able to have that conversation. Yeah. Like, and it'll say like for animal use only. Like, I've done this before. Like I've literally like emailed back and forth with one of these companies. Like I was trying to do research of finding like, okay, if I'm trying to find one of these, you know, over the counter spots to be able to buy it on my own without going through a provider. And I tried to send an email of like a question I had on the thing. They're like, oh, well, actually we can't tell you. Like, that's not our role. we're just that's what these like, things exist.
Yeah.
So like even that, it's like, okay, well, if you're going to do this, then you have to think about like what you're going to do as far as taking a step to source this appropriately, getting it from a provider who can actually make sure that what you're putting in your body is safe. But yeah, I mean, I love that you said that. Like, there's only a handful of these things that have been around long enough to know what they're doing to the human body. Yeah. Like most of the tests, even on the GLP-1 stuff, most of the tests that they're performing on are animals. Like they're doing studies on rats and things like that.
Or it's short term. It's a year or less. Yeah. Or, I mean, how can we have a 10-year study on a GLP-1 when people have only been using them for 2 years? Yeah. It's like, okay, maybe things come out in 5-6 years that we don't realize now. Yeah. That's causing long-term negative side effects.
Some of the stuff like metformin and Wegovy and tirzepatide, like those have been around for like quite a few decades. So like, I think that is where we can say like, okay, we've had maybe enough research, but the reason that they're around is because they are to help diabetic patients or chronically obese people get to a spot where they can lose weight successfully. Yeah. Almost like a bypass surgery. Right, like a gastric bypass surgery. Like one of the peptides, like this one kind of fires me up because one of the peptides that's like new and like all the rage is like this, it's like this mashup of like a growth hormone supplement with a like a GLP-1. And the design of it is
what's it called?
It's like retatrutide. Retatrutide. Okay. Yes, thank you. And so people see this on social media and there's people posting it that are shredded in the mirror like, oh, I took this and this is my result. And it's like, dude, this was created for people that need to lose like massive amounts of weight. It is really unsafe to take, like just straight up. And I don't know that any provider would just over the counter hand this to you. And so then it takes it into consideration. Okay, well, if you're getting your hands on it, where are you getting it from? What is the quality of that? You know what I'm saying? So you get into some of those conversations and it's like people have to have a better understanding of number one, where they're getting it, number one, why they're pursuing it. You know, does it fit for your specific situation or are you just doing whatever a friend told you to do kind of thing? Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, and like, I'm glad that there are people out there that are like guinea pigging themselves.
Well, yeah, I mean, you survive. Is that survival of the fittest kind of situation? Like,
well, I mean, there's people there's people out there with YouTube channels that are like, oh, I've took retatrutide for 60 days and this is my experience. Okay, like that's beneficial. Like
it is.
Now we can see like that's, a case study.
Yeah.
And I think that that's fine. And, there's these people out here that are like in the fitness or in the biohacking space that like they make their living kind of guinea pigging these things and reporting back on it. And, it's their goal in life to have as much muscle mass and be as lean as possible. And, they're pushing the limits, pushing the boundaries of what's possible as far as like anti-aging and building muscle and being shredded and, all these things and optimizing brain function. But that's like the 1% of the 1%.
Yes.
Right. It's like, if you're just the average person who's like, oh, I have 20 pounds to lose, I'd like to have more muscle mass on my frame, but like you work in an office, it's like, it's not your life necessarily. There's absolutely no reason that you can't get to a healthy weight with a physique that you're really proud of without taking any sort of peptides. You know what I mean? It's like,
I mean, people have been doing it for like lots and lots of years.
Yeah. Like
successfully without this stuff.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and again, it may be in the future that these things are very controlled and produced well and well studied, and we understand which ones are naturally occurring in the human body and can benefit you without side effects long term. They may be able to help us get better sleep at night, or just avoid injury or reduce inflammation. But right now it's in a space where it's like such a gray area.
It is super unknown.
It's super unknown. Like they're not well studied. We're in a gray area. So it's like, okay, just be mindful,
Be mindful.
And there are some companies that are like doing a good job in producing them in the US and third-party testing and actively giving the reports out with the third-party test. And, I think that there are companies out there that are doing it well. And I think the potential here is really big.
Yeah, it's super powerful. I mean, it's cutting edge stuff. Yeah, you hope enough people trial it and error it to figure out some of the workarounds.
And it'll probably be it'll be a really powerful kind of sector of our healthcare system, our medicine moving forward. Like understanding these things and using them to just help us feel better and be better in general.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a reason why the FDA is trying to like combat.
Oh yeah, because they want to. Well, yeah, I think they want to. They want to freaking.
They want a piece of the pot.
They want to freaking.
Well,
cash
I think
out.
they see like, oh, people are actually experiencing like amazing benefits from this stuff.
Yeah,
like, we can't have that, and we want to make money off of it if they are like.
They want to control it.
Yes,
right. They want to control it. They want to create. They want to make it so that they are the only ones who can produce it and sell it, and they want to, they want to get their freaking. Why am I blanking on the word? Patents.
Yeah.
They want to get their patents on it, and they want to make it illegal for anyone else to produce anything. So like they're trying to corner the market basically. Absolutely. Which is shitty and unfortunate. But
there has to be some aspect of this shit works for them to desire to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in a lot of cases, this shit does work.
Yeah.
They like BPC 157, for example, is like the most studied one. And we know it's like naturally occurring in the human body. Okay. Like that, if you have an injury that you're trying to heal from, like it may be really beneficial for you to seek out a practitioner who knows what they're doing and go get that, go get that treatment.
And knowing like the different forms, like a BPC, where there's an oral form or there's an injectable form. And those kind of provide different functions too. Like if you go more the oral route, it's probably going to help with more generalized inflammation, maybe more gut specific healing. If you go more the injectable route, well then maybe, okay, let's say I have a soft tissue injury to my knee and I'm injecting into my knee. That's going to provide more benefit versus
local wound healing.
Exactly.
Yeah. But going online and buying a vial of retatrutide from some website that you don't know.
The dark web.
Yeah, that's producing it, in China or something, and like you don't even know if it's actual. And then injecting that, hoping that like get shredded. It's like,
and do you need that?
No, you don't.
And this is where like blood work can come into play too, right? So like if you're someone who like is a candidate for, let's say, a tirzepatide, which I think is probably one of the more safe GLP-1s. It is expensive, but you want to look at your blood work and say, okay, what are your insulin numbers at? What is your A1C at? Like, are you someone who's pre-diabetic range who like could use this to back that stuff? We've talked about how GLP-1s maybe can benefit some of your heart specific categories. Like you
didn't touch on that.
I don't think I touched on that.
No,
I think
we talked about that before.
We were talking about that pre-episode, but so they've shown studies like some of these GLP-1s have benefit to, like, let's say you have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and maybe that's related to you just have
a lot of weight,
adipose tissue. So that's making your heart have to perform a little bit harder, but we've shown like that can improve. So are you someone who's a candidate for a statin to like improve your blood pressure? Like, so we can look at your blood work and say, okay, this is something we want to improve. This is something we want to improve. This is something we want to improve. Maybe you're a candidate for this. Mm-hmm. What do you think? Assess the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And just know, and it's just important to know the full context.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what are you getting yourself into?
Yeah.
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 And I'll say I've experimented with injecting CJC 1295 and ipamorelin, a combination of that for growth hormone releasing effects. And I did notice deeper sleep. My average heart rate variability jumped about 20 points.
Holy smokes.
Which was, significant. Which I was surprised by, which is a sign that I was getting better sleep and my nervous system was more recovered and more prepared to handle stress. So I was objectively measured that, okay, I'm ready to handle more stress and more adaptation by taking this.
Yeah.
I didn't necessarily notice like a lot of like muscle growth or anything. Yeah. But I did it for about 45 days and then cycled off of it because you don't want to just be like constantly smashing the growth hormone button, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think these are tools. And again, I'm someone like, I don't mind kind of
being a guinea
pigging myself a little bit because I'm curious and this is my life. This is what I do. And again, I want to be able to have conversations with clients about like, this is something that maybe works, something that you maybe should avoid. This is something that you probably don't need, like.
Well, your experience too, because like we were going back and forth with that growth hormone because I was curious about it as well. And something to note about that is like it's going to secrete more of your natural growth hormone. And what we know about growth hormone is it creates what's called cell proliferation. Mm-hmm. So it's creating more cell molecules.
Yeah, signaling your body to produce more cells.
So if you're someone who, let's say, has a cancer history, like, and the reason why we were kind of discussing this, like I've had a risk of that. So I'm a high risk candidate. Mm-hmm. So if you've, like for my case, I took an immunotherapy drug for 12 months to basically dormant cancer cells. Mm-hmm. If you take something that's proliferating cells that can't decipher between good and bad cells, does it undo that work?
Yeah.
And does it make you more high risk to now give you cancer again?
Yeah. If you have
you could have an unknown tumor, have no idea.
A small unknown tumor somewhere in your body. Yeah.
And then you're like getting on this thing, it proliferates those cells, grows that tumor. And now what do you do?
Yeah.
So like it's risky.
Exactly.
You have to weigh and measure the risks and you have to understand what you're getting into.
Yeah. And we just don't know a whole lot yet.
Yeah.
But it does seem to be a very promising corner of the
health and fitness.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, it's exciting, but just throwing this out there. If you're an average person, you want to lose some body fat, you want to put on some muscle, you can 100% get to a physique that you're very proud of through some hard work, some consistency, and not needing to take any sort of peptide or anything like crazy. You don't need to be injecting yourself with stuff. Like you can get to a good physique and be happy with the way that you look and feel with just eating well, moving well, taking care of yourself.
It's the unsexy work that always works. Is that not? I mean,
for real.
At the end of the day, whether you're a GLP-1 user, which again, I am not hating on GLP-1s, like, and I don't think any of our conversation is saying like, fuck peptides. Like, I think we're very confidently saying these can have benefit for you. But at the end of the day, if you're not exercising right, you're not sleeping well, you're not putting quality crap in your mouth, like this stuff doesn't work super well.
Yeah.
One of the studies I wanted to highlight, we were talking about this like pre-episode, but there was a study done, and it was actually one of the largest studies they've done on GLP-1 usage. They were focusing on tirzepatide specifically, which is used in what we talked about, like pre-diabetic range folks or people who even are type 2 diabetic to improve their A1C and all these other factors. So this specific study took like a massive group of people. I think it was like 580 people. They put them on tirzepatide. And I don't know what the dosage was, but I would imagine it was like the same dose for everybody to keep things, keep that scientific method for like 32 weeks or 36 weeks. Put them on tirzepatide and they saw like amazing benefits, like 22% average weight loss amongst all of the candidates, which is significant. And we don't know whether that was like muscle and fat, what that, body composition loss was, but you're taking people who are obese and you lose 22% body fat. Like we'd hope that's a win. But it got interesting because then they put them on a placebo for like 56 weeks following using the drug. And then we see like some crazy numbers of all these people gaining back all of the body fat they had lost. So like literally like 1 in 4 individuals gain back like 70% of the weight loss. 25% of the people in the study
gained almost all of it back.
And 9% of the people in the study only 9% were able to like sustain the weight loss. And so I think what that highlights, because in this specific study, they're not diving into nutrition, they're not diving into sleep, they're not diving into exercise. What it highlights is that without those unsexy habits, it's really hard to sustain the benefits from some of these drugs.
Yeah. And we know if you're taking these drugs and say you get 20% of your body weight dropped off, which is fantastic. If you're not lifting weights, you're not eating enough protein, some or a lot of that weight is going to come from muscle mass, bone density, soft tissue, right? Your body's just basically shrinking because you're consuming less food. But if you're not communicating to your body that you need the muscle, you need the bone mass, you need the soft tissue resiliency through working out and asking your body to have that adaptation, then you'll just kind of shrink in general. But yeah, that just goes back to point to like how important.
Well, and to further that point, like you're talking about like resting metabolic rate. So like the calories that your body burns at rest to keep you alive, if you have less muscle, that number is going to decrease. Your body's going to create evolution around needing to function off of less calories. So what happens when you get off that drug? Your appetite is unsuppressed. You start eating like you used to eat. Well, now you're in a greater surplus, meaning
because your metabolic rate is now lower.
So you're now consuming significantly more calories than you're burning at rest, and that's how that weight comes right back on.
Yep.
And so it's important that you're building the habits. Like what I like to tell my clients, because like I have a lot of clients who use this stuff, and I think it's awesome. What I like to tell my clients is like these drugs can be used as a way to get you to the valley that we can then along the way build the habits that are going to get you out of the valley. Like we want to get on the mountaintop. That's the goal. Right?
Yeah.
So we're going to take this thing that's going to snowball the momentum here so that now we've built a sustainable foundation to get you out. Does that make sense? Like to kind of paint that analogy or that picture. Because I want my clients to understand like the most important thing is the habits at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
So
yeah, that's the foundation of all of it.
Yep.
It's like what you're doing on a daily basis, how you're actually showing up in your life on a daily basis is the foundation.
1000%.
Okay. Before we jump out of here, what are some quote unquote biohacks that you like, that you think are really beneficial?
That I like.
Just some, even if it's like simple, just like.
I like the red light stuff.
Okay.
I've been doing a lot more of that. My wife got me one of those for Christmas. And
nice. You're glowing.
I didn't think I was going to be that into it, but
I can tell you look beautiful.
I think my skin is glowing.
Yeah.
Everybody keeps saying that I'm tanner. Like I'm not trying to be like weird about that.
You look more tan than you look more tan?
I don't know. My melanin production is increasing. Is that?
I didn't notice that, but you do look great.
Thanks. So I do like that. I do own a cold plunge.
Cold plunge, nice.
In the
exposure.
winter, that is not something I'm doing.
No, not in the winter.
It's definitely empty right now, but it will get filled back up for summer.
Decrease inflammation.
And then TRT. I do TRT.
Nice. Sauna. Absolutely love sauna.
Dude, if I could afford a sauna.
Yeah, it's incredible. Oof. Very powerful intervention. Lower blood pressure.
Yep.
Get, sweat out anything that your body is not wanting to be in there. So whether it's environmental pollutants or, waste in general, you sweat that stuff out. Formation of new blood vessels, even like a nice cardiovascular workout, right? Getting some good blood flow. Yeah. Sauna is really powerful.
I do work with a like kind of performance based like healthcare provider. And so, you know, they're again, going back to my blood work, we're doing like a DEXA scan. We're doing a VO2 max test. We're looking at blood work consistently. And so they give you kind of a supplement regimen too. That's going to help with all this stuff. So I don't know if that's quote unquote biohacking.
Yeah. So taking a supplement is a biohack.
But yeah. So I'll take stuff. And again, this is specific to me and my situation. So the stuff I'm going to list is not go and get this stuff because I take it. But
yeah,
like,
it's based on your blood work.
But like I'll do like berberine in the morning. It improves your blood glucose levels.
Yeah.
Regulates that a little bit better. It improves your A1C naturally. And it also improves your cholesterol function. So I'll do berberine in the morning. I'll do a little bit of DHEA.
Nice.
Which is kind of the communication tool between your estrogen and your testosterone. Do vitamin D.
Nice.
I do fish oil. And then in the evenings, I have like a cholesterol support that I'll take as well as some magnesium. And I started doing melatonin because that's like been a game changer for my sleep. So
there you go. I mean, any supplement like that, those are all biohacks, right?
Yeah.
You're like quote unquote hacking your system by providing, providing nutrients that your body needs.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I love that. Magnesium is a big one for me. Creatine's huge.
Oh yeah.
Right. Supplementing with creatine specifically. That's a biohack, right? That we know is good for physical performance, mental performance. One of my favorites is red lenses at night.
Oh yeah.
Like throwing the glasses on with the red lenses, block out any blue light in the evening, help with, your endogenous melatonin production, help you fall asleep more quickly when you go to put your head on the pillow.
Love it.
That's like a simple one that I think is so powerful.
So easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that doesn't cost a bunch of money.
No.
These are cheap.
That's a cheap one that I think is really powerful.
Yeah.
And it was popular for a little bit, but I don't think it gets enough attention anymore. But like throwing on the blue light blocking glasses when the sun goes down, you will fall asleep so much more quickly and get a better sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Anything else?
That's all I got, man.
Sweet.
Hopefully this was helpful for folks. And
yeah, hopefully it was.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for listening. Thanks for being here.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right.